share. I don't care. How's everyone doing? I really have become obsessed lately with the idea of whether or not I'm a good person. Like, been going to a lot of beakrums, shopping at like Trader Joe's, that kind of, like I adopted a pit bull rescue, right? But now I'm worried that like, and I'm like obsessed with her, but now I'm worried that the only reason I got her is because I can only love things I'm kind of afraid of. And so, like all of my affection is really just like a manifestation of like my broken childhood or something. What they don't tell you when you're what they don't tell you when you adopt a pit bull is that apartment hunting with a pit bull is sort of like trying to date while you're pregnant. You're gonna give up a few dreams, just one or two. So the only apartment that would take me was in a neighborhood that was undergoing gentrification, which is my nickname. I was the only white girl in my apartment complex, and when I first moved in, my neighbors would really give me a lot of shit about it. Like, the first day that I was there, I walked up to these guys that were hanging out in the front, like, they do like asset redistribution or something like that, and they were having like a power lunch or whatever, and I was like, hey guys, I'm new to the neighborhood, I like to jog early in the morning, I was just wondering if that was safe to do around here. And when he put down his 40 and he turned and he looked at me and he goes, well, I don't know, Mia, how fast can you run? It was a hazing, you guys. I didn't realize sort of like what a Becky-centric activity jogging was in my neighborhood until I started doing it, and there was like the shopkeeper that would come out all the time and be like, what's up, what's going on, you okay? I have a bet. And I have to be like, no, I suffer from body dysmorphia. So that's, basically it's like an externalized manifestation of my internal fear of being inherently unlovable in a world that's innately hostile. And so, I mean, like, unless you have like a realistic beauty standard or my father's love in the back of the store, I'm probably just gonna lap it, you know? Get home, take a knee in the shower with some bread. Because it's true. I've discovered recently that I'm two different people, and I can be divided on the axis of my orgasm. Like, I think everyone has two orgasms, right? Like, you have like the one orgasm that like you share with a friend, right? And then you have like your other orgasm, which is like your real orgasm, the one you share with yourself. like the orgasm you share with a friend is like, you're like, oh yeah, oh, yeah, and like your real orgasm is more like, my permission, fuck you. That's what mine is. I've been fucking this guy for a few months, and one day in bed he goes, do you want to like turn over and like masturbate so you can come too? I was like, it's a little intimate, right? I don't feel comfortable with you seeing how I look when I'm actually experiencing pleasure. It's going to make it much more difficult to manipulate you later for the things that I want. I'm really shy in bed, and it's like hard for me sometimes even just like look a guy in the eye while he's fucking me, but they'll always try to like want to talk dirty. And the way that they'll do that is like this, like an entry level kind of like, well, no, like, what do you fantasize about when you're masturbating? Like, that's, like, just tell me what do you think about? And I'll be like, my mom's eating disorder? No, like, I'll explain. So it's like, basically, it's like a schemata, right? So it's like, that manifests itself in like a gangbang fantasy where my body's punished for wanting to experience pleasure. And then you mix it with this like weird kind of vaguely non-consent fantasy I had in the 8th grade about like a science teacher that was really mean to me and like, you know, the bathrooms there. But then you put that in with like just like an overall kind of generalized shame perpetrated by American Apparel ads, especially the one that's like right in Life's Felice, like right on Sunset. Like, I mean, it really, like the thought, it's something about it really gets to me and makes me feel triggered. So, does that make you hard? I have more, but I also, so before I was a stand-up comedian, I was starred in like over 180 porn scenes. I mean, not all at once, like not like yesterday. It was like spread out over 5 years. It was mostly girls. It was like real porn. It was like fashionably damaged, but not like really damaged. You know what I mean? But in the course of that time, I got a lot of fan mail, and it's really hard for me to communicate to other people how interesting my fan mail is. So what I like to do is sometimes get my friends that are male comedians and actors to come up and help me dramatically read some of my best emails. And so tonight, I would like to bring up Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall to help me read some of my emails.
That's what I'm going to see right before we read this filthy email.
Oh my God.
My daughter. I'm going to read from...
This is annotated with editor's notes by myself, so...
So the song?
I can't.
What? You want to stand closer?
Yeah, I want to get as close as possible. How I feel.
All right, my mother was English, so that's not very close.
My mom's French, though. So I'll make up for it. I'll split the difference.
That's why the two countries were at war for 500 years. The French just wanted to hug.
With their mouths. Is this all set up
All
right?
right, let's see. All right, and so this is okay. You want to set it up?
You want to set it
No,
up?
I'm just saying I should get into character
Okay.
because I'm as a photographer.
Okay. So editor's note.
Hang on. Okay.
That's exactly
How I pictured him.
Ready? Okay.
I had just started working, editor's note. I had just started working as a model in West Palm Beach, Florida, and I responded to an ad placed by a photographer looking for print models for a coffee table book that was primarily art nudes. So, my initial query went, "Hi, I'm Sovereign. I currently model for godsgirls.com and I'm looking for other modeling work. I'm mainly an art nude model. No video, no boy-girl, no penetration. I'm comfortable with implied girl-girl, no hustler spreads, but explicit nudity isn't a problem. Let me know if you're interested."
And John Donegan replied, "Hi, Sovereign. I've actually shot several God's girls, and I have graduated some of them from websites into real print, all caps. National magazines, international books, and art galleries. I create world-class sexual art for Paris, not LA, or the Florida-style porn. My sexual art is always real, it is never faked, never posed. And as for what American girls call implied, I never shoot anything implied unless you wanted to hire me for that on some sort of a custom basis."
Editor's note. He's certainly implying that I'm unsophisticated because I don't want to do porn.
Why? I do not live an implied life. Your sentence, "no penetration, will do implied girl-girl. No hustler spreads, but explicit nudity isn't a problem." This statement leaves me puzzled. And I welcome your elucidating this for me. If you are not doing penetrations or spreads, then please describe what explicit is. Multiple question marks. I'm not being cynical. I'm honestly just curious. I talk to girls from all over the world, various descriptions I get of various different versions of acceptable sexuality are always interesting, especially since I am now based in the Bible Belt rather than LA. My agent is in Paris and my book publisher is in Berlin. A wide cultural spectrum of views on sexuality. Yours, John. And then there's more from John here. I am based in Nashville, but I only, all caps, shoot for Hollywood and Europe. Are you interested in doing serious, all caps, major erotic magazine features or erotic book photography? My work should speak for itself. This is real print, guess what, all caps. For hardback coffee table books, the top nude magazines and art galleries in Europe, I do not, all caps, do websites or local work. As you review photographers on here, keep this in mind. Always ask to see what they have actually published, all caps. In national, just one cap. But totally unnecessary cap. And international, again, an absolutely unnecessary capital, international. Print, all caps. In real books and in real magazines that you can go to buy in a major bookstore. That will weed out all the people who just do website or local stuff. I am a Hollywood and international photographer and filmmaker who just happens to live in Nashville. Here's a link to an online bio on me. My agent is in Paris, my book publisher is in Germany. See more, here's a link. I shoot nudes for hardback coffee table. When do you talk again? I shoot nudes for hardback coffee table books. All right. My book publisher, Goliath Books of Germany, and I have 4 new erotic photo books I am just starting. I also shoot photo features for major erotic magazines. Brackets, Hustler's Taboo, Hustler's Barely Legal, Fox Gallery Nugget, Leg Sex, and many, many others.
So here he goes on to list his references. Taboo Magazine, Taboo Magazine, Taboo Magazine, Taboo Magazine, Fox Magazine, Hustler's Taboo, Hustler's Taboo, 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 Taboo.
I think you missed 7 taboos. I work closely with LFP. Larry Flint Productions. In Hollywood, and I do photography and videos for Hustler, Hollywood Retail. Large color prints of my nudes are on display in Hustler Hollywood stores.
Editor's note, it probably goes without saying that Hustler Magazine is exclusively porn.
I specialize in solo girl fetish, cum shot art.
Editor's note, the original ad was for an art nude model.
Cum shot art for beautiful art gallery prints. This is art, all caps, not gonzo porn. Everything I do is of the highest quality, elegant, sexual art.
He goes on to list like more links where I could go see his work. Editor's note.
Oops. I just lost the page. There we go.
Okay.
I'm opening it.
While claiming to not shoot porn, the majority of the references he is citing are porn publications. He also thought he was going to impress me with the lure of print and his Parisian sophistication. So I wrote him back and tried to flatter his ego without agreeing to go outside of my boundaries. In short, this guy seemed like a total blowhard, but I really wanted to make the $3,000 the job paid. Hello there. To clarify the kind of work I'm comfortable doing, I've been in art shows where there are photos of me touching myself with spread legs. To me, explicit nudity is artful even if my legs are spread wide and you can see everything. What I don't want to do is spread where the camera is giving me a gynecological exam. There's nothing really artful in that. Implied girl to me means I'm being open to photograph with another female model in a suggestive way. We perhaps are badly matched. I do this for the love. Editor's note. I should have said I was doing it for the love of a man. I had a boyfriend that was a photographer that thought he was going to turn me into the next Dita Von Teese, and you can tell by these next sentences that I was really convinced my vagina was an actual political movement. I love erotica, and I'm not afraid to be graphic for the right photographer project. Editor's note, what this really means is I'd really like $3,000, and I'm totally willing to compromise my integrity. However, I think been mistaken in responding because I'm based in West Palm Beach. I think your work is very good. You are rather a rarity, I'm finding, however, and a lot of people are trying to talk me into bang bros, etc. Editor's note. Here I am attempting to flatter his vanity, so he too will give me that $3,000. I am interested in making art, but I'm not interested in making gonzo porn. It's a hard line to toe. Sovereign.
Sovereign. Please understand that I will never, all caps, attempt to persuade you or try to talk you into doing anything. Philosophically, I just don't agree with that approach. My art is very sexual, and the sexuality must come naturally from my girls, and that only happens after they relax and they realize that I have no hidden agenda for them. And then I can comfortably start teaching them to have very advanced orgasms.
Editor's note. The job posting I was responding to was a model for still photographs for a coffee table book that was comfortable with nudity.
My girls have lots of real orgasms when we shoot. Usually 30 to 40 a day. Brackets, this is for real. And I make sure of that by using, Hitachi magic wands, oscillators, Sibian sex machines, PDFs, electrosex, and found class, etc. To teach, I'm glad he didn't list everything. That he saved us some time with the etc. That was really an homage to concise writing. Etc. Now where was I? My girls have lots of etc. Oh no, it's your. Oh, here we are, guys. To teach my models how to have advanced orgasms. That is why they glow in my pictures.
Editor's note. Still not sure what's more arrogant than a man that thinks he's going to teach a woman how to have an orgasm. We usually figure out where our clits are years before men do.
I am the antithesis of gonzo porn. Those guys just want to use girls up and spit them out.
Editor's note. I'm sure that John has formed a long-lasting and loving relationships with the various women he's photographed in various BDSM sexual torture scenarios over the years.
I want classy, erotic girls who I can teach and train to become long-term stars. And I already know that when I teach a new model to expand her sexual horizons and her sexual possibilities by teaching her to have advanced orgasms, she will keep coming back to me to shoot over and over. Once again, I create sexual art. Yes, the orgasms are real, so is the art. You are beautiful. The more you do your research on porn people and compare them to what I do, you will see that I am not just a rarity. I am alone.
Editor's note. No, John is not like other porn people. They tell you exactly what they are hiring you for.
This is not a hard line to toe. You just have to be very selective who you shoot with, that's all. By the way, you're much closer to me than the LA girls who fly to Nashville and stay with me for 3 to 5 days at a time to shoot. John.
Editor's note. At this point, I realized that the job John was hiring for wasn't actually a model for a coffee table book, but rather a sexual submissive, which there was no way I was doing for $3,000. A week-long out-hole is like 50 grand these days. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. What? I've never done this before.
Happy birthday to you.